اهلا بيكم بعد الفاصل ابناء وبنات طلبات الصف الاول الاعدادي. تمام. طيب in last episodes we finished lesson 1 and lesson 2 talk about matter properties and matter construction. تمام. نعمل كده simple revision على التو lessons اللي احنا درسناهم. كنا بنقول ان matter anything that has mass and volume. matter has physical properties and chemical properties used to differentiate between different material ودرسناهم كلهم بالتفصيل. طيب lesson 2 talk about matter construction. matter consists of molecules. It's the simplest form of matter, can't analyze it into simple form. Molecule can exist freely and carry the same property of matter. Between molecules there are a property between them in one matter أو in same matter. ايه هي ال properties of molecule في الماتر الواحدة؟ number 1 molecules of matter are in continuous motion. There are spaces between molecules called intermolecular spaces. There is force between matter molecules called intermolecular force. Intermolecular spaces and intermolecular forces different between three states of matter. في اختلاف بين ال three states of matter في الايه؟ في ال intermolecular spaces وال intermolecular force. ازاي؟ in solid state intermolecular spaces it's very narrow and intermolecular force it's very strong. طيب يبقى ال intermolecular spaces في ال solids بتبقى very narrow. So the intermolecular force it's very strong. In liquids intermolecular spaces it's large and intermolecular force is weak. كل ما الديستانس بتزيد كل ما الفورس بتضعف. طيب في الجازس في الجازيوس ستيت the intermolecular spaces it's very large and intermolecular force it's very weak. اتفقنا؟ by increasing the distance between أو the spaces between molecules the force become weak. تمام؟ طيب يبقى أهم حاجة هعرفها النهاردة أو هحتاجها في درس النهاردة إن الماتر consists of molecules. matter consists of molecules. طيب molecules may be molecules of elements or molecules of compound. يبقى المولكيولز دي ممكن تكون molecules of elements or molecules in compound. تمام. نبص بقى معايا. matter consists of molecules consists of atoms. يبقى عندي هنا smallest building unit formed molecules called atoms. يبقى matter consists of molecules consists of atoms. طيب molecules may be element or may be compound. تمام. قلنا امتى يبقى المولكيولز عندي الاليمنت where it's a similar element but compound consists of different atoms. طيب هنا بقى الاتوم. what is meant by atom? It's the fundamental building unit of matter. It's the simplest building unit of matter. which share in chemical reaction. طيب نرجع بقى تاني نشوف الاتوم. what is meant by atom؟ احنا اتفقنا من الاول ان انا عندي الماتر consists of molecule. طب المولكيول دي اصغر حاجه ولا في كمان اصغر منها؟ molecule consists of a smallest building unit called atom can't exist freely and share in chemical reaction. يبقى الاتومز can share in chemical reaction. تمام. دي الايه؟ الاتوم. طيب احنا عايزين بقى نقدم او نعرض الاتومز اللي عندنا للاليمنت. هنتكلم دلوقتي عن الاليمنت represent by atoms. كل اليمنت هكتب النيم بتاعه سنه اولى، يعني لازم اكتب كده هيدروجين، اكتب اكسجين، اكتب كالسيوم، صوديوم بالليترز؟ لا. scientists used symbols to make the express elements easy. يبقى chemists used symbols to easy express elements or compound. يبقى هنا استخدمنا السيمبلز علشان نعمل ايه؟ represent elements and of element and compound. Symbol of any element represented by its atom. يبقى أنا دلوقتي هنتكلم عن الأتوم بالسيمبلز. يعني عندي الإليمنت بدل ما أكتب اسمه كامل كده بالليترز، لا ده أنا هختصره هعمله إيه؟ سيمبل. في طريقة معينة علشان نكتب بيها السيمبلز أو نعرض بيها الأتومز أوف إليمنت. تمام؟ طيب بنكتب بقى السيمبلز إزاي أوف إليمنت أوف أور مولكيول؟ في خطوات يا سنة أولى. طيب نبص معايا هنا symbol of some element. symbol of some elements. عندي some elements represent it by symbols as hydrogen. عفوا hydrogen represented by H letter. The symbol of hydrogen element is H letter. helium is HE. طيب نشوف بقى احنا بنختار السيمبلز دي على اساس ايه؟ احنا بنختار كده اي سيمبل وخلاص؟ لا، بتتكتب السيمبلز ازاي يا ولاد؟ ان احنا الاول بنشوف الاليمنت ده النيم بتاعه. انا عندي مثلا الهيدروجين اليمنت، طيب هكتب كلمه هيدروجين عندي، يبقى ادي كلمه هيدروجين. تمام؟ هيدروجين. هيدروجين لتر، هيدروجين word beginning with H letter. هيدروجين beginning with H letter. بتبتدي هنا بالH letter. So it takes a symbol of hydrogen. يبقى الهيدروجين السيمبل بتاعه هنا ايه؟ H. خلاص؟ طيب عندي مثلا كربون. The carbon element it represented by symbol C. Carbon is represented by symbol C. طيب عندي كمان الارجون element تاني. الارجون it's a noble gas. argon. symbol of argon is AR. argon. خلاص؟ طيب يبقى هنا some elements represented by the first letter of its name. some elements represented by the first letter of their name. بختار الفيرست لتر اللي موجود في اسمهم. خلاص؟ زي الهيدروجين، زي الكربون، زي الاكسجين. لو انا عندي هنا كده اكسجين، اكسجين اخدناها من السنه اللي فاتت ان السيمبل بتاعه ايه؟ O. طيب O it's a first letter of oxygen word. تمام؟ طيب some elements has the same letter in their names. some elements have the same letter أو the same first letter in their names. So we can choose first letter and the second letter. So we choose first أو it represents by first letter and the second letter. As helium. helium gas برضو it's a noble gas. helium it's the first letter is H. طب أنا عندي هنا الهيدروجين has the first letter is H. طب الهيدروجين هو اللي خد ال H. تمام؟ بقى السيمبل بتاعه H. ما ينفعش ان انا اجيب الهيليوم كمان يبقى السيمبل بتاعه H. طب هنعمل ايه؟ it's symbolized or represented by HE. هيبقى السيمبل بتاعه HE. first letter and the second letter. first letter and the second letter. تمام؟ يبقى some elements represented by symbol in first letter. another elements represented by first letter and the second letter. تمام؟ طيب why? because some elements are similar in the first letter. طب عندي شرط هنا علشان اكتب السيمبل اللي consists of two letters. the first letter is written in capital and the second letter written in small. يبقى first letter written in capital second letter written in small. يعني ما ينفعش الهيليوم اقول كده HE. غلط. ما ينفعش كده اقول HE. غلط. المفروض لا symbol represented by first letter is capital and the second letter is small. خلاص؟ يبقى some elements represent أو its symbol represented by first letter of its name. Another elements represented by symbol as a first and the second letter from their name. But first letter written in capital small, but second letter written in first letter written in capital and the second written in small. تمام. another element choose the first letter and the third letter. some elements choose أو symbolized by first letter and the third letter as chloride. ادي chloride. كلمة chloride أو the name of element chloride. C مش هتنفع لأن احنا عندنا الكربون its symbol is C، يبقى مش هينفع اخد السي. طب CH مش هتنفع برضه لأن ايه some elements أو other element has symbol CH، so it's symbolized أو it represent by Cl. يبقى الكلوراين هنا السيمبل بتاعه ايه Cl. انا كتبت هنا كده غلط، ليه؟ المفروض تكتب Cl first in capital second or third in small. خلاص، يبقى الكلوراين هنا السيمبل بتاعه Cl. symbol represent an atom. the symbol of element represent an atom. what is meant by atom? atom it's a simplest او it's a smallest او it's a fundamental units of matter can share in chemical reaction. تمام. طيب دي some elements represent by first letter and another element represent by first and second letters from their names. Another elements represent by first and third letters from their names. But some elements similar in three letters أو the three first letters from their names. عندي elements بتتشابه في ال three letters الأولانيين من اسمهم. طيب دول أعمل فيهم إيه بقى؟ أحدد السيمبلز بتاعتهم إزاي؟ هتتحدد by return back to the Latin name. return back to the Latin name. بصوا معايا هنا مكان ما بشاور بالماوس. the element symbol is derived from its Latin name. so that symbol of some elements differ from their names in English language. طيب دي يعني ايه اللي احنا بنقوله ده؟ بنقول some elements similar in the first, second and the third letters. متشابهين في الثلاث حروف الاولانيين. so we can't choose the symbol from third letter او three letter. طب اعمل فيهم ايه؟ اعمل لهم السيمبلز بتاعهم ازاي؟ انا عايزه اسهل على نفسي بدل ما اكتب النيم اوف element بالكتابه كبير. هنعمل ايه؟ return back to the Latin name. هنرجع بقى للاسم اللاتيني للايه؟ للإليمنت. as sodium its name in Latin natrium. so صوديوم لو انا شفت عندي هنا كده صوديوم السيمبل اوف صوديوم از Na معايا. يبقى هنا الصوديوم السيمبل بتاعه Na. طب ده الصوديوم ما فيهوش ان خالص ولا فيه ايه، يبقى ازاي احنا عملنا الصوديوم السيمبل بتاعه Na؟ هنقول because صوديوم symbolized by first and second letters from its Latin name. تمام. طيب عندي كمان البوتاسيوم its symbol is K. iron its symbol is Fe. copper Cu. silver Ag. يبقى all elements have symbol differ from their name. it's symbolized by the Latin name. أخدنا السيمبل بتاعهم من اللاتين نيم. ليه؟ because some elements similar in three letters. بيبقى في تشابه في ال three letters ما نقدرش ان احنا نختار منهم، فبنرجع لللاتين نيم بتاعهم وبناخد منهم الايه؟ السيمبلز بتاعتنا. خلاص؟ طيب يبقى شفنا هنا how we can represent the atom of element by symbol. some element represent by symbol as a first letter of its name. another elements represent by first and second letter from their name, but first letter written in capital and second letter written in small. another element represented by symbols from their Latin name. تمام. طيب نيجي بقى نشوف هنا الاتوم. بنتكلم عن الاتوم. what's the atomic structure of element. ايه هي الاتوميك ستراكشر؟ طيب نشوف فيديو سنه اولى هيوضح لي كده الاتوميك ستراكشر ونرجع نعلق عليه. نشوف الفيديو مع بعض. ما فيش فيديو. طيب ما جهزش الفيديو. طيب نشوف الاتوميك ستراكشر بتاعنا. اتوميك ستراكشر بقى. What is the mean to by atomic structure? It's the internal structure of atom. Internal structure of atom. Atom consists of two parts. Atom consists of two parts. Nucleus and electrons revolve around it. يبقى atom consists of nucleus and electrons revolve around it. لو جينا هنا عملنا symbol diagram of atom represented by nucleus and electron revolve around in it. هنا كده ده electron وعندي هنا nucleus. تمام. يبقى عندي هنا ايه nucleus. يبقى its diagram represent atom او symbol diagram represent atom consists of atom of nucleus and electrons revolve around it. Number one او in first we talk about nucleus. هنتكلم بقى عن جزء. first talk about nucleus. Nucleus it's a center of atom. Nucleus it's a center of atom. Contain small different particles. Contain two types of particles. Has protons. يعني عندنا protons carry a positive charge and دي كده protons and neutrons contain أو carry a neutral charge. يبقى nucleus of atom it's a center of atom. It's a center of atom. Contain two types of particles. Number one protons. Number one protons carry a positive charge. Number two neutrons carry a neutral charge. تاني يبقى atom consists of nucleus and electrons revolve around it. nucleus contain. يبقى احنا هنا كده دخلنا جوه الاتوم، شفناها بتتكون من ايه. atom consists of two parts nucleus and electrons. nucleus it's a center of atom. Contain two types of small particles. Protons it's carry a positive charge. Neutrons carry a neutral charge. So the charge of nucleus is positive charge. Is a positive charge. خلاص دي كانت النيوكليس. يبقى nucleus of atom. Nucleus of atom contain two different types of particles. One of them called protons. Protons it's a small particles carry a positive charge. Second type of particles neutrons. Neutrons carry a neutral charge. Uncharged يعني ملهاش charge، لا هي positive ولا هي negative. Uncharged. So the charge of nucleus is positively charged. يعني التشارج بتاعت النيوكليس كلها positive. يقول لي why أو give reason the nucleus of atom is positively charged. ليه هي شايلة البوزيتيف تشارج؟ هقول له because nucleus contain protons have a positive charge and neutrons have a neutral charge. تمام. دي كانت الايه النيوكليس. طيب نشوف كده بقى معايا هنا protons have positively charged particles. neutrons electrically neutral particles. طيب نشوف الفيديو سنة أولى مع الفيديو.
Look at your little finger. Imagine that its tip is as big as the room you're sitting in right now. Now, fill the room with grains of rice. One rice corn represents one cell of your fingertip. Now let's zoom in on the rice corn. And now, one cell is as big as the room you're in right now. Let's fill it with rice again. This is about the size of a protein. And now, let us fill all the empty spaces between the rice corns with fine grains of sand. This is roughly how small atoms are. What is an atom made of? Let us just pretend that atoms look like this for a minute to make it easier to understand. An atom consists of three elementary particles: neutrons, protons, and electrons. Protons and neutrons bind together and form the atom core, held together by the strong interaction, one of the four fundamental forces in the universe. They are made from quarks and held together by gluons. Nobody knows exactly how small quarks are. We think they might literally be points, like in geometry. Try to imagine them as being zero-dimensional. We suspect that quarks and electrons are the most fundamental components of matter in the universe. Electrons orbit the atom core. They travel at a speed of about 2,200 kilometers per second, fast enough to get around the Earth in just over 18 seconds. Like quarks, we think electrons are fundamental particles. 99.99999999999% of an atom's volume is just empty space, except that it isn't. What we perceive as emptiness is actually a space filled by quantum fluctuations, fields that have potential energy and build and dissolve spontaneously. These fluctuations have a fundamental impact on how charged particles interact, but that's a topic for another video. How much space do the core and electrons actually fill? If you were to subtract all the spaces between the atom cores from the Empire State Building, it would be about as big as a rice corn. All the atoms of humanity would fit in a teaspoon. There are extreme objects where states like this actually exist. In a neutron star, atom cores are compacted so densely that the mass of 3 suns fits into an object only a few kilometers wide. By the way, what do atoms look like? Well, kind of like this. Electrons are like a wave function and a particle at the same time. We can calculate where an electron might be at any given moment in time. These clouds of probability, called orbitals, are where electrons might be with a certainty of 95%. The probability of finding an electron approaches 0 the further we get away from the atom core. But it actually never is 0, which means that, in theory, the electron of an atom could be on the other side of the universe. Okay, wait a second. These strange thingies make up all the matter in the universe. For many dozens of known elements, you don't need many dozens of elementary particles, just 3. Take 1 proton and 1 electron, and you have hydrogen. Add a proton and a neutron, you have helium. Add a few more, you get carbon. A few more, fluorine, even more, gold. And so on. And every atom of an element is the same. All hydrogen atoms in the universe, for example, are the same. The hydrogen in your body is exactly the same as the hydrogen in the sun. Do you feel confused right now? We certainly do. Nothing on this scale of the universe makes any sense in our world, and we've not even begun talking about quantum mechanics or the particle zoo, which are even stranger. Our model of atoms has changed a number of times since we first conceived it, and the current one will certainly not be the last. So let us support scientists and research and wait for the next wave of mind-boggling new information about this strange world that is the basis for our existence.
شفنا مثلا نقول الفيديو بتاعنا وكان بيكلمنا عن الاتوميك ستراكشر، وشفنا كمان النيوكليس والالكترونز ريفولف اراوند 8 ان فيكسد اوربت. كمان شفنا الانترمولكولار سبيسز والانترمولكولار فورسز ان ديفرنت او ان 3 ستيتس اوف ماتر. طيب let's complete our lesson. We talk about nucleus contain protons and neutrons. Protons and neutrons inside the nucleus. The number of protons inside nucleus called atomic number. تاني يبقى أنا عندي هنا new expression اللي هو atomic number. What is meant by atomic number? Atomic number it's a number of protons only inside the nucleus. تمام؟ يعني أنا عندي هنا كده ادي النيوكليس of atom. ودي الالكترونز revolve around it. Nucleus contain positive protons and neutral neutrons. بنقول بقى هنا the number of protons called atomic number. Atomic number. Atomic number of any element, it means the number of protons only inside the nucleus of this element. طيب. Expression, another new expression, mass number. Mass number. What is meant by mass number? It's the sum of protons number and neutrons number. يبقى mass number it's the sum of protons number and neutrons number. يبقى there are two new expressions, atomic number and the mass number. Atomic number, it means the number of protons only inside the nucleus of this element, of this atom. طيب الماس number it's the summation of protons number and neutrons number. We can write it in the symbol of element. تمام؟ يبقى أنا عندي symbol of any element as Na. We can write the atomic number and the mass number in the symbol. طب الatomic number write under أو below the symbol in the left side. طيب mass number write above the symbol in the left side. يبقى اللي بيتكتب هنا فوق السيمبل ده اسمه ايه؟ mass number. طيب واللي موجود هنا below the symbol in the left side it atomic number. يبقى the number of protons inside the nucleus called atomic number. The summation أو the total number of protons and neutrons inside the nucleus called mass number. They are written in the symbol. Mass number right in above the symbol in the left side, atomic number written below the symbol in the left side. خلاص؟ طيب نشوف بقى مع بعض هنا كده. Mass number, it's the sum of the number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus. It's written above the symbol from the left side. Atomic number, it's the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. This expression is very important in a scientific term, question in the exam. تمام؟ يبقى نخلي بالنا من الديفينيشنز دي كويس قوي لانها بتيجي في الامتحان كتير. يبقى اخدنا النهارده الاتوميك ستراكشر اوف اني element، معناها ان احنا هندخل جوه الاتوم نشوفها consists of ايه. يبقى atom consists of nucleus and electrons revolve around it. Nucleus, it's a center of atom. Contain protons carry a positive charge and neutrons carry a neutral charge. The number of protons called atomic number. The summation of protons and neutrons called a mass number. تمام؟ عرفنا ايه كمان النهارده؟ ان الاليمنتس او الاتوم اوف element represent by symbol، وشوفنا كمان الطريقه اللي احنا بنكتب بيها السيمبلز دي، وعندنا بعض السيمبلز كده ايه نتعرف عليها في الكتاب ونحفظها سنه اولى. تمام؟ ان شاء الله المره الجايه هنكمل بقيه الاتوميك ستراكشر ونشوف الالكترونز which revolve around nucleus. هنعرف كل حاجه عنها لحد ما نشوفكم. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.